Hey, welcome to our Sunday preview for this sixth Sunday in Ordinary Time, and we have a reading from St. Luke, and it happens to be his version of the Beatitudes. It's in chapter 6. Jesus came down with the 12 and stood on a stretch of level ground with a great crowd of all his disciples and a large number of people from all Judea and Jerusalem and the coastal region of Tyre and Sidon. And raising his eyes toward his disciples, he said, "Blessed are you who are poor, for the kingdom of God is yours. Blessed are you who are now hungry, for you will be satisfied. Blessed are you who are now weeping, for you will laugh. Blessed are you when people hate you, when they exclude and insult you, and denounce your name as evil on account of the Son of Man. Rejoice and leap for joy on that day. Behold, your reward will be great in heaven, for their ancestors treated the prophets in the same way. But woe to you who are rich, you have received your consolation. Woe to you who are filled now, for you will be hungry. Woe to you who laugh now, for you will grieve and weep. Woe to you when all speak well of you, for their ancestors treated the false prophets in this same way." The Gospel of the Lord. The Beatitudes from St. Matthew are what we're perhaps more familiar with. And this is St. Luke's recollection of what Jesus said that day. And it's beautiful because he places it in sort of a context of Jesus standing out on this level ground. And if you've ever been to the Holy Land, you know where the Mount of the Beatitudes is, and it's overlooking the Sea of Galilee. Very beautiful sight, and there's a church there now. And you can almost put yourself back in time when you go there. But what strikes me about the reading too is that St. Luke gives us a setting of how people from all over were there. It wasn't just the local inhabitants of that area. It says people from all of Judea and Jerusalem, which are way to the south. This is up in Galilee. And so they had a couple of days walk to get there. And then it says people from Tyre and Sidon. Those are in modern-day Lebanon, up to the north of where Jesus was. So in a certain way, St. Luke is expressing that this was kind of a central point, and people from all over came looking for Jesus and listening to his teachings. And it's this teaching of the Sermon on the Mount that has stood for 2,000 years as one of the most sublime teachings ever. I think we ought to draw our attention to those woe are you, toward the end, especially because, he says, woe to you who are rich, you've received your consolation, and woe to you who are filled now, you will go hungry. And when Jesus is saying that being rich or being filled is sinful, he's talking about what we do with that. Do we use our riches to serve and help others? Do we use our wealth and our excess, and when we have a sufficiency, do we put it at the service of others? Or do we just sit back and congratulate ourselves, eat, drink, and be merry? That's the real lesson from the Beatitudes, that we have to be servants of all, right? And a good question for us all is just to do a reality check from time to time when we examine our conscience and say, are we big enough givers? Do we give to the point where it hurts? Do we share with others? Do we make sure that others have what they need? Or do we simply say they're lazy, or they're not working hard enough? But rather to give and to enable people, empower people. That's the real service of justice and charity that Jesus is talking about. So let's listen to those Beatitudes and make sure we apply them to ourselves.